Hello everyone, Maud here again. Welcome to your dynamic deep stretch class. In this dynamic deep stretch class, we're going to give more attention to the upper body, and that means the shoulders, the arms, our torso, our thorax, the neck, of course. And it's called a dynamic deep stretch class because there will be some movement in between. We don't want to just take our muscles, our bodies into these deep stretches right away. We want to prepare our joints. We want to mobilize our joints to make sure that the body is ready to get to these poses that we want to prepare it for. In this practice, as you can see here, I have my 2 blocks. If you don't have yoga props, if you don't have yoga blocks, I would say just grab thick books, a novel in your house or wherever you are. Anything that makes the floor meet you halfway. Could be empty cans in your kitchen. I know I've done that personally myself. This yoga blanket could be a pillow or a bolster or a thick blanket that you have at home. So if you want to have a minute and just go and grab those items, that would be great. But I just want to just remind everybody that in these deep stretches, the exhales are very important. Even when we get in these shapes, if we're not breathing through it, if we're not using the breath, the release that we want really won't work, because we can't get in a shape, a yoga pose, and like hold our breath in, and we just can't feel that release. We can't feel the depth of that stretch, that deep stretch, if the breath is not recruited. So it's very important. So without further ado, we're actually going to start this practice in a child's pose. In this child's pose, I want you guys to have your knees spread wide as you can, maybe the same width as your mat. Untuck the toes in the back and send your toes towards each other. And even when you send your hips towards your heels and you just kind of know your body's not quite ready to get there, your back feels tight, feel free to grab one of your props, one of your furniture, sit on it, have something between your ankles to just get that lift of your hips. You can even place a blanket between your hamstrings and your calves so that there's not much compression that's in the body just yet. So feel free to do whatever feels comfortable to you. And you just know that these props are there to make your practice more comfortable, to make you feel more supported, right? So getting into this child's pose, and I want you guys to like slither into your child's pose. So don't just take the body there and freeze. I want you to take it slow, maybe just dropping your elbows down, and like maybe inch by inch start to slither into this child's pose. I want your forehead to be resting on something. So it could be your block, could be anything, any of your props and furniture. But I want you just to rest your forehead into something so that your neck is not fighting and it doesn't feel strained or stressed. And sending your hips towards the heels, I want you to just kind of feel that. And maybe find a little bit of movement here, just left and right. Little subtle movements here. And I want you to just pause in your child's pose. And please keep your heads down. I just need to explain the breath right here. Even as you're in your child's pose or in any pose for that matter, I want you to feel like there is this balloon in your torso. And as you inhale, this balloon is expanding. That's the lungs really wanting that expansion. They want to be able to expand as much as they're supposed to. We're such shallow breathers that we only use 1/3 of our lungs. We really want to get it all the way down and all the way out. And then these 2 muscles in our diaphragm right here, they push down to allow your lungs to make that expansion, which means your belly is going to expand as well. So even in this child's pose, like feel that. Maybe your thighs, if they're touching your belly, they get that feedback as well. So allow that to happen in your full inhales. Really take it all in. And in your exhales, really empty the breath out, like you're running on an empty gas tank. So that the next time that you inhale in, it's productive, it's needed. It's almost like your body thirsts for it. Yeah, so even as your head is down, and even as you're looking towards the mat, maybe your mind is starting to wander, focus on the breath. Appreciate what's happening inside the body to get that breath going, and just acknowledge the fact that it's wonderful to be able to like listen to the body that way. And that's the beautiful thing about yoga. So
So coming back right here into my child's pose. Spend a few moments breathing like that, visualizing that balloon that I talked about. And playing around with exhaling through the mouth. And then eventually exhaling through the nose. Keeping the inhalations in the nose. And if that's just too much for you, you've had a busy day, you don't want to overthink anything, just breathe. Breathe with a purpose. Just a few moments here in your child's pose, in this shape. And then after your next exhale, I want you guys to turn your palms up towards the ceiling. And this may feel awkward on your shoulders, may feel awkward on your forearms. We're not used to have this sort of open palm child's pose. My thumbs don't really make it to the mat. Maybe yours does, but just acknowledge what's happening, what feels tight in your fingers. Still breathing through it. Try not to let the breath be choppy. Find a nice fluid rhythm in your breath. And on your next inhale, keeping the palms up, keep the left hand where it is. Slowly slide the right hand forward an inch or two. Feel this length happening on the right side. And then exhale, bring the right hand back to center, keeping that palm up. Inhale, left side, slide and glide. Arm reaches forward and then slowly come back to center, just one arm at a time, just like that. Inhale, right side. Lengthen it out, slide and glide forward. And then exhale down. Inhale forward. Exhale down. This time I want you guys to turn your palms down towards the mat. Get in a regular child's pose. Make sure your elbows are down. And this time crawl your right hand forward, keeping the palms down. Feel this nice length happening on the right side. Maybe you're feeling this in the back of the shoulder, maybe your armpits. Exhale back to center. Inhale, lengthen the left arm forward. Left hand really slides and glides towards the top of the mat. Exhale, come to center. Just one more time like that. Inhale, slide the hand forward. Beautiful. Exhale, back to center. Last time through. Inhale. And then exhale, back to center. Just a couple more breaths in this child's pose. Now slide your hands kind of outside your ears and gently push yourselves up. Keeping your knees far apart, maybe as wide as the mat, kind of in that child's pose, knee stance. Get your hands sort of a little bit forward of your shoulders. And I want you guys to send your right arm back, up and forward. And once it makes it to the mat, slowly shift your hips back to your child's pose. Next, inhale, shift forward, send your left arm back, up, and then forward, kind of like we're swimming, freestyle. Exhale, drop the hand, come to your child's pose. Let's do this 2 more times on each side. Back, up, really rotating that shoulder joint. Exhale, slowly come back to your child's pose. Inhale, shift forward, send the left arm back, up, maybe the neck follows where the head is going, plant it down, shift back. One more time as I promised. Inhale, shift the body forward, right arm goes up, forward, plant the hand down, child's pose. Inhale, left side. Really rotating that shoulder joint. Exhale, slowly come down. Come up into a quadruped or hands and knees. Spreading the fingers wide, knees underneath the hips. The wrists are underneath the shoulders. Find a little bit of lift of the belly away from the mat so we're not dumping in our joints, so we're not just dropping our bellies down. Fingers are spread nice and wide. Just send the hips left and right. Sending some nice love to our lower back. I want you to stop at the center right here. Let's do some weight-bearing shoulder rolls. So this is our shoulder joint, our shoulder point, the top of the arm bone, as let's call it. And then slowly send it up, back, and down. And when you send it up, it's almost like the chest is dropping. And when you send it down, it's almost like you're lifting your chest off of the mat. Up, back, and down. Up, back, and down. And just find a nice rotation, like 3 more times on your own. Nothing is fast about it. Back and down. Now let's reverse the motion. So we'll go back, up, forward, and down. Back, up, forward, and down. Find this nice shoulder roll, shoulder rotation that we're doing. Even though the hands are not going anywhere, we do feel this in our shoulders. And watch, you're not dumping in the belly, keeping it a little bit lifted, bringing attention to that shoulder joint. 2 more times. Nice job, you guys. Now we're going to do a couple of cat-cows while we're here in our quadruped, or hands and knees. As you inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone, open the chest, and then lift your head. And then exhale, slowly round the spine, tucking your tailbone under. Really concave the chest and drop your head. Please do several more of those cat-cows, maybe 3, 4, or 5 or more times, making sure that we don't lose connection with that balloon inside our rib cage. And we're still expanding at 360 degrees every time we inhale, like so in our cow pose. And we really empty everything out in our cat pose. So really puff up the middle back, like it wants to touch the top of the ceiling. Exaggerate that movement and make an experience out of it. One more cat-cow. And then slowly come to center. Slowly shift the hips back to the heels. Have a seat. Maybe shaking the arms. Giving some nice attention to our bodies, right? So I'm going to face you so we know what we're doing. I want you to lift your left arm up like Iron Man. And I want you to use the fingers of your right hand to pull the fingers towards you. And I want you to point your fingers down using the right hand to kind of feel that stretch and that wrist. Shake the arms, do the same on the other side, right hand forward. Fingers of that left hand, really pulling your fingers back, feeling this in the forearms. So tight, oh my gosh. It's like one of my favorite stretches, using the left hand also to like guide that wrist to open up with your right, the fingers of your right hand pointing down. And slowly shake the arms, making loose fists with your hands, butterfly motions, whatever feels good. You can do this like interlace fingers, business, whatever it is that you want to do, just loosening up the arms so we don't feel clammy as we're putting our hands down on the mat. So whenever you're ready, come back into your hands and knees or your quadruped. A little bit of lift in the belly, like I said, neutral spine. And then slowly send your right hand behind the head and really spreading your fingers. It's almost like your skull could push into your hand and your hand's pushing a little bit towards the skull, and neither one of them is winning. Poke your right elbow out to the side. And as you inhale, slowly open the body up to twist up. And then exhale, almost like you want your right elbow to tap your left wrist. Even if it doesn't, it's totally fine, but that's kind of what you just want to work on. Or just a sensation, right? Inhale, open up. Exhale, slowly tap. Couple more times here. Feel free to move slower than I'm cueing. opening up. I have a very tight thorax. My torso is very tight, so I'm not going to be able to open up this arm as much as I want to, but it's cool. I've made peace with it, and you should too if you're in the same boat. Otherwise, one more time, just like this. Inhale. And then exhale, slowly tap. This time a little bit different. As you inhale, lift your right arm up, lengthen it up. And then exhale, slowly needle the right arm underneath the left armpit. And just hover for a moment. Inhale, full extension of that arm. Maybe your eyes follow that right hand. Exhale, needle it through. Beautiful. One more time. Inhale, lift that right arm up. And as you exhale, this time we're going to plant the shoulder down, plant your right arm down, and maybe extend this left arm forward. Try to see if you can gently plant the right side of your face down towards your mat. This left hand can reach forward if you want, or it can stay at a place where it's comfortable. But I want you to reach this right arm really towards the left as far as it can. Like you're really feeling the stretch in the back of that shoulder. And just stay right there. Some of you may be doing a kickstand with your legs as you're here on the right side. Maybe the kickstand is on the left leg. Maybe you want to send it back. Nothing too fancy. Something that will sustain the pose for about 4 breaths. Last breath right here, full inhale. Still expanding that balloon. Exhale all the way out. Slide your left hand in front of your face. Use it to gently push yourselves up. Last chance. Inhale, rise that right arm up. And then exhale, slowly plant it down, keeping the fingers spread every time we're back in this quadruped. Couple of times, please do your cat-cows. Inhale, slowly, drop the belly. Tailbone lifts, really open the chest and then lift your head. Exhale, cat this pose, really round, belly first, head is last. And just maybe 1 or 2 more of this, just a nice neutralizing movement. Keeping your fingers spread. How's the breath going? I'm going to turn this way so you can see me this time. We're going to send our left hand at the back of our heads and really spreading that fingers wide and really poking your elbows out to the side. A little bit of lift of the belly away from the mat. And as you inhale, open up that elbow, twisting your torso. Exhale, you want that left elbow to want to tap the right wrist. Even if it doesn't, it's totally cool. Make peace with it. Inhale, open up. Exhale, tapping. There's a difference between making peace with it and really allowing the body to go where it wants to go. If it's ready to do that, please do so. Try not to shortchange the body to all these wonderful things that it can do, starting with the breath. Inhale, open up. Exhale, tap. One more time, please. Inhale. And then exhale, slowly tap. Beautiful. The next time you lift, as you guys know, we're going to do a full extension of that arm and then slowly needle it through underneath the right armpit. We are just hovering. Inhale, slow as you go. Exhale, needle it through. Inhale one more time, lift it up. And then exhale, slowly needle it through. This time we're going to plant the outside of the left shoulder down and really trying to reach towards the right side. Lengthen your right arm forward, your right hand. Keep the left palm open. Find your kickstand. Maybe that right foot wants to step out to the side, wants to step out to the back. Find that in your practice. And just breathe through it. This nice arm crossing thing is so good. Such a nice stretch here in the back of the shoulder. Just allowing that to happen. Planting the left side of the face down. And breathe. Beautiful last breath here. Slide your right hand in front of your face. Use it to slowly push yourselves up. Last chance here to fully extend that left hand up to the sky. Come into your quadruped. And as you guys probably know, we're going to do a couple of cat-cows here. So maybe you just stick it with 2. Stick to 2. Inhale. Slowly cow this pose. Arch the spine. Look up. Exhale. Slowly round. One more time, like so. Inhale. And then exhale. Slowly come to center. I want you guys to keep your palms and your fingers spread, resituating yourselves in your quadruped. I want us to do this thing called a rib cage dancing or rib dancing. And I want you to imagine like this is your focal point, is your sternum or this chest bone or this area of the chest. And the motion is to drop it and then make its way to the left and then round it and then make its way to the right. So notice I'm not moving my tailbone like a cat-cow. It's more like my rib cage is just dropping, moving to the left, up, and then to the right. So here we go. Let's drop our chest down, move it to the left, round it up, and then slowly to the right side. So kind of isolating this part of the body. And if you're like, Maud, I don't know what you're doing, I can't do it in my body, maybe just feel it in your body. Even if that's not exactly what's happening, even if it's not ready today, you just feel tight, you had a busy day or your mind is just occupied with something else, just bring your attention back to the breath and just try to do the best you can. And then let's reverse the motion. This time I'm going to drop my chest, send it to the right, round it up towards the ceiling to the left, and then drop it down again. Beautiful. Like I said, this is my tight part of the body, my thorax. It's very tight. So it does take a while for you to get used to this movement. Please do not feel bad. If your practice looks different than what I'm doing now, just honor that. No judgment here. And then slowly come back to center. And slowly slide your heels back, your hips back towards your heels. I want you to interlace your fingers behind you. Remember which thumb is in front. And as you inhale, I want you to beam your chest forward. Lengthen your arms to the back, away from that lower back. And notice if you're leaning forward or just spilling your chest down, spilling this energy out too much, and there's just this big blob of blah happening in front of the body. There's no word for it. But you just kind of know when it's just too much. And so send your ribs back in a little bit, keeping your arms lengthened to the back. And just feel the squeezing of the shoulder blades together behind the body, keeping the back of the neck soft. Keeping your jaw relaxed, keeping your breath soft. Slowly release. I want you to shake your arms and your wrists. So this time, we're going to do the same thing, but have a different thumb in front, this awkward grip. Same thing, roll your shoulders back first, lengthen the arms, and watch that there's no compensation leaning forward. Try to bring your ribs in, lengthening your spine, always thinking of space and always thinking of length. And that's where patience really comes in, and that's achievable through the breath. Breathe all the way in and all the way out. Beautiful. Slowly shake your arms. I want you guys to have a seat for a moment, whether you're sitting hips on heels or crossing at the shins. Just grab something that you can sit on top of. That way there's a nice curvature in the spine.
Your hips are just a little bit higher than your knees. So honor the way you're sitting. It doesn't have to look like mine. Totally honor that. Rest your right hand down to a block or to the mat, or just put it on your thigh. We're just going to give all the attention to the left arm this time. So inhale your left arm up. And as you exhale, tap the back of the neck or anywhere that it can touch. Inhale, rise. And as you exhale, turn the arm in and sort of tap the back of the palm anywhere it can without forcing the body to do so. So just tap it and then let go of it. Inhale, rise. Exhale, palm touches anywhere. Feel this lift in the elbow, this lengthening in the tricep. Inhale, rise. Turn your arms in. Exhale, just tap and touch. No big deal. No overachieving here. No overstretching, no overdoing anything. Inhale, rise. Exhale, tap and touch. Inhale, rise. Exhale, turn it in. Slowly come back up. And then come to center and pause. Rest your left hand down. This time attention is on the right hand. The right arm. Inhale, rise. Without too much anticipation, just because we've been here before doesn't mean you move fast. That's always a tendency once we move on the second side is, oh, I know where we were. I know where the body went. And so we tend to move fast on that second side. We actually want to do the opposite. Just tell ourselves, oh, now I know where I'm going. I'm going to take my time and really explore. Turn your arm in without overachieving. Let it touch a place that it feels comfortable. Release it one more time. No judgment, no expectations. Turn the arm in. And then shake it out. You guys probably know where we're going. Lengthen both arms out. This is your left arm, this is your right arm. So we're gonna do the opposite motion for both arms, and we're gonna do it at the same time. So as you inhale, lift your left arm up, turn your right arm in, tap, and just touch. Before you get attached, slowly release. This time, your right arm's gonna go up. Your left hand is gonna turn in and touch. Beautiful. 3 more times. Can we do this 3 more times on each side? Yes, we can. And maybe I urge you guys to close the eyes. So it's not a visual practice. This is definitely something that your shoulders should give you feedback on. And go with the breath. Inhaling one way, exhaling the other. One more time, guys, with so much patience, and we're sort of enjoying this slow motion. And then we spread our arms out to a T. This time we're really gonna take a pause in that shape. Turn your right arm in, let it rest somewhere up the spine that feels comfortable without forcing this shoulder too much, and then lift your left arm up, and then exhale, let it touch. So we're just gonna rest our palms. You don't have to grab a strap because we're not gonna be here for long. I want you to feel where the body can go, where the shoulders can go organically. Keeping your left arm lifted, left elbow lifted, and your right arm turned in. Just one more breath, full inhale. How's that balloon, guys? Exhale. Beautiful. Release your left arm first, and then your right arm, and then shaky shake. Beautiful. This time we're gonna lengthen our arms out first. Inhale your right arm. Find a nice spot in the back of the neck or the back, and then maybe turning your left hand in, letting it slide up. Again, they don't have to touch. I have this range of motion where it's kind of easy for me to do this, but the danger is that I no longer knew where to stop because I just kept going and going, and before I knew it, I kind of overdid something. And I know back in the day when I did gymnastics that I probably hurt myself because I was just too mobile. I was too hypermobile. I know that's redundant, but If the body is kind of telling you right now, oh my gosh, I can't take this, that's probably a good thing. That means you're still getting feedback from your body. So listen to it. When it tells you to stop, please stop. Last breath. Slowly release the right arm first. Left hand. Shaky shake. Good job, you guys. That was really good. Now this time we're going to do eagle arms. So I want you to send your arms up. And this is your left arm and this is your right arm. And I want you to send your left arm underneath the right. And if the palms don't go together, you can always just grab shoulder to shoulder. Left arm underneath the right. I want you to send your arms to the left. And I want you to rotate your head to the right. Inhale everything back to center. Exhale, arms to the left, neck goes to the right. Feel the stretch in the back of the right shoulder. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Everything to center and then exhale. We're going to take a pause right here. Arms to the left, head goes to the right, keeping your spine long and keeping your breath soft. Deep breaths in, feeling that deep stretch outside that arm. Exhale slowly back to center. Again, shake the arms. These shakes are good, right? It kind of brings us to a good restart place. This time lift the arms up. Now this is the right arm underneath the left. Find palm to palm or shoulder to shoulder. Draw your elbows down. And this time send your arms to the right. Rotate your neck to the left. Inhale here, center. Exhale, slowly rotate and bring the arms to the right. I believe we have 2 more of this. And please, again, I urge you, move slower than I'm cueing. This is your body, right? This is your size lungs. So if your lungs are bigger than mine, most likely you're going to have to breathe. You are breathing slower than I am. We're taking a little bit more time to get all that air in and out. Arms to the right, neck to the left, and slowly just stop here, take a pause. Feel that stretch outside the left shoulder, that deep stretch. It's almost like a cracking open, and you want to make that happen on the exhale. Deep breath in, and then exhale all the way out. And release to center. Beautiful. Shake the arms. Ay, ay, ay. Send your left hand onto your right shoulder, your right hand onto your left shoulder. And use your fingertips to give yourselves a nice massage here on the trapezius muscles. It's kind of like the corner where the shoulder and the neck meet. So just knead yourself, K-N-E-A-D, nice massages. You don't have to be a massage therapist to do this, but just those pressure points, kind of self-soothing, self-caring, an expression of self-care and self-love. Keep your hands where they are. We're going to do these circles with our torso. So I want you to sort of imagine like we're just doing a counterclockwise motion here. So it may look a little bit different for you guys. And so as you inhale, slowly bring the elbows up. And as you exhale, bring it down, kind of rounding the spine. Inhale as you come up. Exhale, the spine rounds, bringing the elbow down. Finding this nice movement in the spine as well, but also the muscles in the torso, expanding. And then curling in, maybe 2 more times this direction. Beautiful, 1 more time. It's a dynamic deep stretch, right, like I said. And then slowly stop at the center. This time, one hand's gonna be on top of the other, whichever way you did, just do the other way. Whether it's the left hand or the right hand on top, it doesn't matter much. But just give yourselves a nice massaging again, fingertips, maybe the thumbs are also in there, depending on how far back you can reach. It always feels good to me. I mean, it's better when somebody does it for me. But on days where there's just nobody, go ahead, give yourselves a good massage. Feels good on the neck, on the traps. So much stagnant energy there. And then so let's go the other direction, clockwise this time. So inhale to send your elbows up. Exhale, slowly round the spine. Bring the elbows down. And I urge you guys maybe to close the eyes or keeping a soft gaze. Like really appreciating what's happening to the body. We're doing this beautiful motion right here, but there's so much stuff happening, so much gunk and stagnant energies being cracked open. Especially if we sit around all day, our body's just dying, is just crying to be opened up and released. And these deep stretches, these dynamic deep stretches, it's just the perfect way to end your day. Maybe some of you are taking this in the morning, that's cool too. Slowly stop at the center, release the arms. Beautiful, inhale, rise with the arms, watch your palms connect. And as you exhale, just slowly bring the hands to heart center, taking a pause here with the breath. And sort of release your hands down. We're gonna get into our bellies, into a Sphinx pose. So I want you guys to situate your bellies down, plant your hands and your forearms down. The feet as far apart as you want it to be. Send the elbows underneath your shoulders. And the Sphinx pose shape is like this, but a lot of activity is happening over here in the glutes. As you can see, the muscles in the lower back are a lot smaller than these big muscles in the glutes. So you really want to recruit that so you don't dump and compress too much in the lower spine. And before you know it, you just know that feeling that doesn't feel good. So keep the tops of the feet down, keep your toes spread. And using the power of the glutes, just engage them. Try not to hold the breath as you engage them. Just keep them engaged. Keep the breath going. And using your forearms, just peel your heart forward. You can look forward, but you don't have to look all the way up. Just keep the back of the neck relaxed and soft and neutral. Breathe in here. Exhale it out. Now, if you have a prop, if you have that thick book, if you have that empty can, if you have a yoga block, I'm always a big fan of a supported Sphinx pose. I typically put this underneath my forehead. I cross my hand to my other elbow, so it's like a crossing of the elbows, and then I drop my head down. It kind of feels good to have the forehead resting on something. And it kind of triggers a parasympathetic rest and digest state. And I can just sort of hang out here in my Sphinx. It doesn't mean I'm compressing in my lower back. My glutes are still a bit activated, but I can also just be in a softer place because my head is supported. Keep the breath going. Keep that balloon expanding as you inhale. And as you exhale. Stay here for one more breath. And just change the crisscrossing of the arms. So one arm is in front, one arm is now underneath the other. Plant your forehead down once again. Glutes are still awake, the breath is still going. Keeping your head down, maybe the eyes are closed, maybe the eyelids feel a little bit heavy. Beautiful, one more breath. Exhale it all out. Gently lift your forehead away from your prop. And just make a pillow out of your hands, one hand on top of the other. Rest your forehead on it.
And if you want, you can lift your feet up and now have a nice windshield wiper left and right. Again, these are not intermissions, but these are with a purpose, just a release on the lower back in case you guys felt a little bit of compression there as you did those Sphinx poses. Beautiful, maybe 2 more sways on each side. And then slowly place your feet down. Taking the time here, just taking a rest. Gently release the forehead away from the hands. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders and gently push yourselves up back into that child's pose. And right away we're going to get into that open palm child's pose, resting your forehead on top of something once again. And I want you guys to feel the difference between this open palm child's pose and the one that we did before class. And I totally feel like my shoulders, my arms, my wrists, my fingers are a little bit more open this time. So I want you guys to acknowledge that and notice any change. Beautiful. Inhale all the way in. Exhale all the way out. And then slide your hands underneath the shoulders. Slowly come up and rise. Beautiful, you guys. We're actually going to make our way into a nice seated position. This is how we're actually going to end our class. I want you guys to be seated on top of something. If your preferred way to end class is to lie down on a Shavasana shape or a resting pose, that's totally fine. Honor that, and you can start to make your way there now. Otherwise, for some of us, you can use this wall to lean on. You can even lift your legs up on the wall. But for today, my preference is just to keep myself upright. And this is where we really want to honor the teachers in each one of you, in each one of us, the inner teacher. Whatever is good for our bodies, let's all listen to it, and we may all do different things. So I'm going to stay here seated. You guys can take whatever shape that you want. Cupping one hand on top of the other for me as I'm seated. For those of you who are lying down, just open the palms up. And as you feel settled in your final resting pose, I want you to take a deep inhale in. Exhale out through the mouth and sigh out. Inhale all the way in. Open the mouth, sigh it out. One more time, deep breath in. Open the mouth and sigh. And then settle in your final resting pose. Whenever you are ready, take a deep inhale in. Open the mouth and sigh it out.
I want you to leave your mouth open and move your jaw around like you're chewing an imaginary chewing gum. Feels good on the jaw. Sends a signal to the rest of the body that you're okay. You're relaxed. And then slowly, maybe close the lips together, part your teeth behind it. Let your tongue rest. And on your next inhale, take it all the way in. And as you exhale, move your fingers, move your toes. For those of us who are seated, we can even move our shoulders. Regardless if you're seated, if you're on your backs, I want you to rotate your neck left and right, just looking left and right. Moving it up and down if you want, whatever feels good. Rotating that neck always feels good. And if you're on your backs, gently make your way onto a side of your choice and pushing yourselves up into a nice seated position. Some of us may already be here. Taking the time to set ourselves up. Long spine, chest open, but soft face, soft breath. Send your palms together, prayer at the heart, thumbs touching your chest. Take a moment here, feel the difference in the body, feel the difference in the breath. If you wish to do so, please repeat after me, otherwise just have a listen. This is my body, this is my breath, this is my being, and this is my business, and I will take care of it. Have a hint of a smile in your face. As you take the time to bow down to yourselves, I bow down to you, each and every one of you. I thank you so much for letting me guide you to this deep stretch practice. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for honoring your bodies. Feel free to just say a word of gratitude right now to yourselves, a pat on the back for taking care of ourselves. Otherwise, the light in me honors the light in you, which means namaste. Thank you so much. Have a good rest of your week.